Homelessness 2.0 day 65. I probably won't, but like I had it in my head that hey, maybe being an alcoholic would be fun. Again, I won't, but I don't know, just a passing thought. No real logic behind it. I don't even know what to talk about today. I forgot to get pot pies from the store so they could have something, like warm and filling that it didn't have to put too much effort into. Because that's kind of the point. So I ended up with the popcorn as well. Like, I was intending to get both. I ended up just with popcorn, though, which sucks. It's whatever. Let me get another cup. Make my drink. One might say, well, starting the day with a shot of, a shot of rum and some Coke and lime juice, that's probably alcoholism. Well, maybe. I don't know. Obviously, and I guess maybe we can talk about this and, come to some whatever conclusions, what have you, but generally speaking, people don't just become alcoholics. They don't just become addicts because they want to. Usually, it's because they're missing something in their life. And they can't handle it for one reason or another. They haven't been equipped with the ability to handle it, or what equipment they have is insufficient, etc. But for one reason or another, there's an aspect of their life that is missing or difficult or something along those lines. And so they start to seek out something else to mask or otherwise dull the pain. Now I know one of the things that I recall from some alcoholics that I've known before in the past, and even stoners, is like, let's be clear about something. You can well, not necessarily will, so you can become addicted to weed. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it, because whether or not somebody wants to claim that you can't get physically addicted to it or something like that, that's not up for that person to say. Physical addiction is a chemical addiction. I don't know what people say, what they're trying to say when they say you can't get physically addicted to weed, because you're getting addicted to the chemicals in your brain. You have cannabinoid receptors in your brain, and I believe it's that THC binds to. Which is why it does the things that it does to you. Now, I'm sure there are people now, and I think the last time I heard somebody say that you can't get physically addicted to weed was closer to like 10 years ago, so I'm sure there's been plenty of information since then, but You can get physically and psychologically addicted to weed, just like you can get physically and psychologically addicted to alcohol. Now, can you OD on THC? As far as I understand, no. You can OD on alcohol, though. But just because you can OD or can't OD on something does not make one necessarily good or bad in that regard. Good and bad are relative anyway. So I guess maybe it is good because they're relative. You know? Yeah. Well, one of the things, again, going back, that I've seen people become, either they were already addicted or I saw them become addicted. One habit that they did, and often it is a habit situation too, wherein a part of their daily life, they incorporate it into their life. So like, if I wake up every single day and I get a drink, well, I've been creating a habit in that regard. If every single time I run out of alcohol, I go and I buy another bottle, and I continue that habit, there's a starting point. And to stop beating around a bush, more accidentally than intentionally, of course, is that the habit that I've known about from others, is that they would have a drink before they went to bed, or they would smoke a joint before they went to bed, every time. And then, over time, like, especially if they happen to be out before it was time to go to bed, they had to make a stop to go get some so they could go to sleep. This is one of the things about addiction that's so hard to break, is breaking the action that's associated, the habit that's associated with the addiction. It's like, if every single day I woke up, I just turned on my computer and I just turned on EverQuest immediately, then that could be problematic. You know, when you try to sleep better and you still fail. And that's another thing that people will drink for, is sort of like a pain management thing. They'll drink because it helps relieve pain. The same thing goes with weed. They'll smoke because it relieves pain. Both of them have pain-killing properties. Now, I'm sure that if, and like I said, you know, it's possible that we have recency bias. Humans do, generally speaking. But for the most part, we always have a recency bias. It's really hard for us to remember things even months ago, weeks ago. And because of that, and then also because when things are new, those things are more relevant, we focus on those things instead. And so I might be saying to myself, I've only done this a few times, whatever. It's almost every day. I mean, There was that shot probably in, I don't know, the last week that I was at the other place, where I had multiple bottles of whether it was milk or Coke or, Malibu. So yeah, who knows? But here's the thing about me. It doesn't matter. I don't care. I care a little bit, but not a lot. Because for me, life is horseshit. There was a post on Imgur the other day, yesterday, in fact, where they were asking, like, or it was like they call them dumps, and, it's usually associated with the fact that you may be taking a dump, but it's also like a dump of different images. And sometimes the dumps are small, sometimes they're large, and most of the time people, when they post a dump, it's like 50 images. And so within this 50 images, one of them was, I think it was a lot of times it's like screen grabs, one thing or another. It was a screen grab, I believe, of a Tumblr post. And the Tumblr post was asking, like, if you went back in time to, like, 1400s, when none of our current modern medical technologies of any kind, discoveries, etc., existed, how long do you think you would last? How long do you think you would exist? And I was like, I would die day one. Forceps. Forceps are what brought my ass into this world. Now I got to pay rent. And one might say that, well, there's a brighter way of looking at things. I don't know what they are. I can't see the brightness that others speak of. And I know for a fact that me being that kind of person pushes people away. Even if they want to be around me in some way. That's being a buzzkill. Depression is this double-edged sword that says, I need people around me, go away. That's what it is. And I'm a logical person, which is kind of also dangerous with regards to the nature of depression. Because I'm aware that I'm doing it. I'm also aware that in doing it, people won't miss me. And so, if they don't miss me, if they don't think about me, if they don't know about me, whenever I die, they won't be sad. I was thinking about my friend who I met, I talked about her yesterday, and I was thinking about, various interactions I've had with her along the way. Once, when we met in Flagstaff, Arizona. She was on her way to the hostel. I was like, hey, leave us here. So we start talking. And she ends up, we talk about the hostel itself. We go to the hostel, seems a little sketchy at first, especially because I had recently seen the movie Hostel. But, my fears were soon alleviated. And then we started talking, and we stayed up long ass. Like, we stayed up until like 3 in the morning, I think. And then we had to get up at like fucking 7 or 8 or something like that. It wasn't a long sleep. We were both exhausted. I was exhausted. I don't know about her. She seemed to be full of energy all day. Now, granted, she was an in shape European woman, and I was an out of shape American. And I am probably like 70 plus pounds heavier now than I was then. Um, well, we ended up taking the Greyhound to Vegas. She had already set up a room. I had considered skipping Vegas altogether. She actually convinced me to come with. Um, and so we were getting ready for this one show called La Rev. LA space RED. They may still exist, I'm not sure. And in the process of getting ready, like, I was already attracted to her in the first place. In fact, I saw her before we got on the bus in Albuquerque. And I was like, man, I really want to talk to her. But it didn't because I'm a coward in that regard. Um, then we got on the bus and she was sitting with some dude, and I could kind of hear the conversation. She seemed to be not overly interested in what he was saying, but there were times where there were certain aspects of the conversation she was definitely trying to steer away from, and I think it was mostly religious stuff. But in my brain, at first, I was like, well, she's totally gonna jump this dude's bones. Um, that never happened. We do the Grand Canyon thing. Um, then we go to Vegas. We're getting ready for for the show, and she comes out. She's looking fucking amazing. And at one point, I tried to steal a kiss, and I mean, I look back on it now, and I know it's not the right thing to do. But she took it in stride, and I mean, I don't know. For all I know, she's hated me ever since. Huh? She doesn't seem to, but I don't know. Because I mean, she's hit me up, um, in one respect or another multiple times since. But so I don't know. Nevertheless, the point of that is that I've always been attracted to her, but she's always been unavailable in some respect or another. And this isn't like there's no happy ending here. I know that. There's no, because I mean, and the reason I brought it up, like, first of all, she said I'm not even the type she looks for. It's whatever. But and one of the reasons I have a hard time, and why I even brought this up in the first place, had something to do with me pushing people away and various other things, is that I need to be around the person physically on a regular basis. Oh yeah, my thumb is kind of doing okay. There doesn't seem to be any blistering. I guess I did a good job. It's still a little sensitive. And I thought I might have seen a blister yesterday, but it's just like, it's kind of sensitive in a small area, but that's about it. Like, I still am attracted to this woman. I still have regular desires. It's fleeting for the most part, and especially the more times that I talk to her, the more I think about the possibilities. But I know it can't go anywhere because she lives in a fucking other country. And not just another country, but like 8 hours away. And some people are like, well, you succeeded because you can handle that. I can't. I have to see the person regularly. I have to. Because otherwise they basically just poof out of my brain. Even with my own friends who are in town, if I don't see them on a regular basis, they basically just disappear from my brain. It's not that I don't care about them. It's that I don't think they care about me. And so if I'm able to if I'm able to spend time with a person and either that time is really regular or it increases, then I know at least somewhere within that interaction that person values my presence. But I cannot, doesn't matter how logical it might sound or illogical or what have you, I cannot conclude that a person values me as a person if I can't spend time with them. And all I'm doing is leading myself on. Whether it's a friendship or a potential relationship or whatever. It's like, you can't have sex with somebody if you're not in the same room with them. I don't care what the technology is, that the opportunities there, that's still not actually having sex with a person. And I only brought that up because that's an analogy that would really make sense. It's like, that's the analogy that says, yo, do you get it now? That's the point of it. It's not to say that I want to have sex with every single person. I am pretty regularly horny though, which sucks. But anyway. So I get my hopes up. And I shouldn't. But because I feel like I'm incompetent, especially with regards to social interactions, and especially with regards to social interactions with women, not only do I sometimes sort of latch on even harder than I should, which will often cause people to push away because you're being clingy. I don't even know where I was going with it. But so because I don't know how to properly seduce, if you will. As far as I'm aware, I have nothing to offer with regards to things that are valuable, in an actual, measurable way. And so I don't try. And I've largely given up. And the same thing goes with life. Really. I don't know how to be attractive to anything or anyone. I'm not a bird of paradise. I'm not a mindless animal that, despite however much I might want to get laid or whatever, I'm not doing the dance. I'm not showing off my plumage. Because I don't care enough. Like, that effort is, to me, too much work. It's just how it is for me. And, call me crazy or lazy or whatever. But I don't really see a future for me. Nothing measurable, nothing worthwhile. Good Lord, what did he use this on? Fuck. Like, I had this for a little bit, and it already starting to look like crap when he came in here and he did some kind of cleaning with it. I don't know. So I have to go get another one soon. But, anyway. I'm going to watch Don't Look Up. Because everybody keeps saying that it's way too depressing, and I'm like, that's exactly the kind of movie I think we need. We need movies that aren't happy-go-lucky. We need movies that aren't too fantastical. We need movies that are a little bit more, hey, this is some shit. This is reality. Like, I don't know if you've seen Contagion, but you should watch Contagion. And I mean, it's pretty obvious how many people have not played Plague Inc. Because when I first When COVID started spreading around the U.S., I was like, oh, this is a really good build. It doesn't kill everybody. Not enough people are doing the healthy stuff. This shit's gonna spread. And then you got people who are like, oh, hey, the people in Antarctica are doing everything right and they're getting vaccines, so obviously vaccines don't work because they got sick. And it's like, you guys are fucking stupid. I'm tired. I'm not just tired because I don't sleep well. I'm just tired. Have fun.